Hey guys, I'm here with Nick Chester from Harmonix, and we're going to be talking about Rock Band 4. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So can you talk to us a little bit about Rock Band 4? Well, basically, what is Rock Band 4?
I can talk to you about Rock Band 4. It's what I do. It's basically, that's literally my job, is to talk about Rock Band 4. Yeah, so Rock Band 4 is a new version of Rock Band that's coming out for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 this year. It's out October 6th. We're bringing the full band game experience back for the new generation of consoles. The core gameplay that people love is there. We haven't really changed that particular stuff much because people love it. It's still a lot of fun. People say like, oh, I miss playing Rock Band. I want to play Rock Band again. So all that is there. But we're adding some really, really cool new elements to it, like the freestyle guitar solo gameplay, which allows people to actually create their own music over the songs that they love, which is pretty cool and very, very powerful, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, that's something that's really been interesting me. Can you go a little bit more detail about the guitar solos?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, with most of the Rock Band games, the previous Rock Band games, it's all been about beat match gameplay. You see the notes on the screen, you press the button, you strum, and that sort of happens. You play the songs as they were written. And that's a lot of fun, and that's actually really powerful and compelling for people to do. But we always wanted to let people personalize songs in a way that really empowers them and takes it to the next level. And one of the ways we're doing that is with freestyle guitar solo gameplay. It's a completely new gameplay system. It's not beat match gameplay. That basically gives players a tool to create their own guitar solos. They could press a single button and then strum, and they'll hear a note. They can hold a series of notes down and strum rhythmically and get sort of like a series of crazy licks. There's a lot of depth there actually for advanced players to make their own guitar solo on the fly. Anybody can play it. We design it so like you could just press some buttons and stuff is going to sound really, really good. There's actual gameplay there too, which is what we're really excited about. We could actually score that, and there's a whole new visual vocabulary that we're going to be teaching players in Rock Band 4 for those freestyle guitar solo sessions.
Interesting. And with Rock Band 4, it's always about the hardware that comes with it. Yeah. Have you guys done any improvements to your instruments?
Yeah, absolutely. We're working with Mad Catz, they're our co-publisher on this game, and they've taken the older instrument designs that people actually recognize, and they haven't really changed the way they look or the way they function. It was very important for us to sort of keep that look and that function in order to support the old hardware. The Xbox One will support Xbox 360 hardware with a dongle, and the PlayStation 3 hardware will work on PlayStation 4 just as is. And that was really important to us because people have invested a lot of money in that hardware. But we also wanted to create the new instruments for the new hardware that talks directly to these new consoles. And so Mad Catz has actually made some pretty nice improvements to the hardware that you don't like notice just by looking at it. But things like the feel of the buttons, they feel a lot nicer. The strum bar should feel a lot nicer and be more reliable. And then for the tilt sensor, for example, is now an accelerometer, and the tilt sensor is what you would use to pull up your guitar to activate overdrive. And like maybe sometimes on the older guitars, maybe that didn't work. Now it will work really, really reliably, like 100% of the time. And we're excited about that. And that's just sort of one of the improvements that we've, that Mad Catz and we've made actually to the hardware.
Right.
The microphone, for example, is something I'm really excited about, is that you can get a lot louder with the microphone. And it's not going to clip out like it did in the older ones.
Right.
It's a much sturdier microphone. It looks nicer, it feels nicer, and it sounds a lot better.
Awesome. And of course, with Rock Band, we have to talk about the music.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the artists that you guys will be having in the game?
I can, yeah, absolutely. We've announced a small handful of songs that will appear on the core game. Songs by Queens of the Stone Age, Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars, The Who. Wow, there's a lot of songs that I can't really remember off the top of my head. There's a lot of music in there. It's a lot of really, really great stuff, and there's so much more to come. We have, I think, and a lot of people in the studio think, the best Rock Band disc soundtrack that we've ever had, and that's actually saying a lot because all the Rock Band discs have had really, really good soundtracks. This is shaping up to be easily the best one to date. Additionally, we actually support all of the old music as well, so all the stuff that you would have downloaded from the Rock Band Music Store will be compatible in Rock Band 4, as well as stuff that you've been able to export to your hard drive in the previous generation of consoles. So at no additional charge. So as we make it available on these new consoles, players who've already purchased that stuff will be able to re-download it and play it in Rock Band 4.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's great. What about future songs that you guys will be adding on into your game?
Absolutely. Harmonix for years actually released new DLC weekly. Every week we release new songs, and so we've amassed a library of over 1,500 songs that will be available for Rock Band 4 already, but we will continue to build the music library. Can't really say too much about what those songs are going to be, as we're going to wait and see what our fans want. We take fan requests. You could request songs online. Let us know what you want, and we're actually listening to you, and we will actually put that music into the game. We do listen to you too. One of the songs we actually have in the game is Avenged Sevenfold, in Rock Band 4 is Avenged Sevenfold Hail to the King, which is literally the most requested Rock Band song. When we announced Rock Band 4 earlier this year, and we put up the request page again and started taking requests, Hail to the King was at the top of that list, and so we put it in the game.
What inspired you to bring Rock Band back after so many years?
You inspired us to bring Rock Band 4 back after so many years.
You
did, because you wanted it. No, the serious answer is like, actually it's kind of like, it's almost the answer. Players wanted a new Rock Band game. For years after we stopped making Rock Band 3, we would announce new games, and it would always be like, oh, this is really, really cool. Like, you making a new Rock Band? And we're like, no, not right now. This is really cool, you making a new Rock Band? And it's just like, you know, that happened, you know, we launched Rock Band 3 and then like 6 months later, like, where's Rock Band 4? Like, that's just how that works. That never stopped, but it kind of like got quieter after a while, and then it really, really rose up again over the past year or so. I went to the GameStop Managers Conference last August where we were showing Disney Fantasia Music Evolved, and literally everybody was like, people are asking about a new Rock Band in my store all the time. Like, are you guys making it? Like, what's going on with the new Rock Band game? Like, this is really cool. Where's the new Rock Band game? And like, the fact is, like, people want it. It's an experience that you can't have on the new generation consoles right now, and it's like this huge gap. And I think it's an important, it's a fun game. It's a game that I think people need in their gaming library, because there's really nothing else like it. So it feels like a really good time to bring it back. And based on the response we've gotten so far, like, I think we are.
That must be
on the right track.
Amazing that people are basically begging you to make more games.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it's exciting for us. We love Rock Band. We always said we would come back to it when the time was right, when we had like a creative vision for the title, and we had something new that we could bring to the table, and we do, and we're really excited about it. And people seem excited about what we're doing, and that is like really, really gratifying for the team that's working on the games. They are like busting their hump to make the best Rock Band game ever, and I think we're going to deliver it. So
yeah. Okay. Can you riff about solo mode? Exactly.
That's literally my answer.
Yeah.
I just make guitar noises at your face. Yeah. So freestyle guitar solo gameplay is a way to empower non-musicians, people who can't play guitar, to feel like total like rock gods, total guitar badasses. We want you to feel like, you know, that I don't know if you've ever experienced this. This is something that I think most musicians, people who play guitar, have walked into like a guitar center, and there's always that like one guy who's sitting in the corner who just plays like an infinite solo, and he just never stops, and he's so into it. And there's something about like being in the zone of playing a guitar solo that like guitar players who are really, really good at the instrument, they understand. And you know, you'll see it in people's faces when they play guitar. They get that like guitar face where they zone out, and they're just like playing a guitar solo, and their heads up in the air, and they're doing like a little fart face or whatever it is, the face they make. There's that zone that you get into, and we want to get players into that zone. And I think Rock Band, the core gameplay of Rock Band, the beat match gameplay, does that to an extent where it lets you feel like, oh, you're playing a guitar, like a simulation of it. It's not like one-to-one. It doesn't. You're not actually playing a guitar, but you feel like you're connected to the music, and you're supposed to feel like a guitar god. And this is like the natural evolution of that. And like really, like you are a guitar god. You are like making these crazy sounds come out of this instrument. Essentially, we built an instrument. You know what I mean? And it's like you can do a variety of really, really, really cool things and get into that sort of same zone that guy who sits in the corner of Guitar Center and plays a guitar solo for 7.5 hours gets it. And that's like pretty cool to bring that home and allow non-musicians to really feel that.
So after making Fantasia, did you guys ever think about experimenting with using motion-based controls like with the Kinect for instruments instead of actual hardware?
We did actually a lot of experiments with motion controls in the music space. A lot of that stuff led directly to what you actually saw in Fantasia. As a studio, we have a bunch of really, really talented designers and engineers who know how to make like connect, like sing and feel really, really good. And there are musical things we can do in that space. I don't think they relate in any real way to the Rock Band experience. In particular, like if the question is like, oh, do you ever think about maybe letting people play air guitar? There's something about like the tactile experience of holding an instrument in your hand that like completes the fantasy of playing in in a band. Like, you need to have something physical in your hand to like really feel that and feel like the intensity of being in the moment. And if you take that away, like, it loses something. We don't have any plans to have any like sort of like camera or motion control functionality in the Rock Band 4.
Okay.
The Rock Band 4. That's the new name.
The Rock Band 4.
Okay.
So when can we get our hands on Rock Band 4, and what systems will be available to?
Rock Band 4 will be out on October 6th for PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. You can pre-order it now at rockband.com, and we're super psyched to get it in the hands of everybody and let people start rocking the world.
Excellent. Nick, thank you so much for your time. Awesome. And for more content like this, go to shacknews.com.